Kia ora everybody, welcome back to our senior lesson for KiwiCan online. This will also be our last lesson online as well before we start heading back into schools in the next few weeks. Hey, it's been awesome and a privilege to do these lessons online, and I hope you've been keeping up to date with them as well. And if you haven't, pause this video right here and watch our past videos as well, so you just know where we're up to and you know what we're talking about as well. Alrighty, for this video we are moving on from our big subject of goal setting. So remember that we've been talking about goal setting with Owen last week and Seddon and Gabby as well, and this week we're going to be talking about problem solving, and we're going to be doing that with our KiwiCan leader Chris, okay, and he's going to run us through a fun energizer and a fun activity as well, okay. But before we can do anything, we're going to do our catchphrase all together. So hands at the ready for our catchphrase. Hands on your knees, warming up your knees, and KiwiCan says, if there is a problem, I'll solve it, thinking of ideas, and then I'll resolve it. Awesome job. What's going to happen now is Chris will run you through the energizer and the activity, and hopefully I'll get to see you in the schools in the next few weeks following.
Hello everybody, my name is Chris from Christchurch, and welcome back to KiwiCan. Today's lesson we're going to be talking about problem solving and the first basic steps that we should take when we're thinking about trying to solve a problem, and that goal setting, which you would have learnt about a couple of weeks ago, goal setting actually fits into problem solving as well, because if we don't set goals when we're trying to solve a problem, we may get lost along the way. And all of this fits within our theme this term, resilience, because you got to set goals. It helps with your resilience, and problem solving is definitely part of this too. But before we get to the main lesson about problem solving, we're going to get your minds warmed up with some problem solving. So these are all going to be visual problems. I'm going to show you something on the screen, and you have to look at it for a certain amount of time and see if you can get the right answer. It's kind of like a riddle, but a visual one. Because when we're looking at problems in real life, we have to really look at them and figure out what's going on. And that's exactly the same with these pictures that I'm about to show you. Okay, so let's get straight into the first one. I'm going to give you about 20 seconds, 30 seconds to answer each of these. You don't need to write anything down, you just need to look and see if you can get the right answer. So, in this first one, how many triangles can you see in this picture? Go. How many are you getting? Add in the top ones, the bottom ones. Should I shut up? I'll just shut up. I'll shut up. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And stop right there. Let's see if you got the right answer. I'm gonna tell you what it is. There are 12 triangles inside this shape. Don't believe me? Hopefully some of you got it right. Hopefully all of you got it right. But if you didn't and you're still wondering where are those 12 triangles, let's show you right now. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and not forgetting the main triangle, 12. There you go, 12 triangles in that one. You ready for your next question? Let's go straight into it. In this picture, which color is the center circle? Is the center circle the same color as A, or is it the same color as B? Have a look, what do you think? Playing tricks on your eyes? Can you figure it out? Okay, the center circle is the same color as A. Just like that. Okay, straight on to the next one. Are you ready? Keep watching. Which center square within these shapes is the bigger or small? Have a look. They're funny, aren't they? The colors play tricks with your eyes. It makes it hard to see. So, you ready? You think you made your mind up? Okay. The squares in the center are actually the same size. I know, trick. Okay, are you ready for your next one? Let's go straight into it. Is the area of these tables the same or different? Have a look. They look different, they're a different shape, are they? Okay, you ready? In your minds, the area of the tables is actually the same. Yeah, I know, they're all tricks, kind of like tricks. Some of them are the same, some of them are different. You've got to figure it out. You've got to really look to try and understand what's going on in the picture. Let's try another one. In this picture, are the eyes the same color or are they different? Another tricky one. Is it an illusion? Are they actually different or are they the same? Let's change. There you go. The eyes are the same color. It's weird, isn't it? Why one looks completely different when it has that other color next to it. Our eyes can be quite easily deceived sometimes. Let's go again, straight into the next one. Which one is lighter? Have a look. Is it tricking you? Am I tricking you? Am I trying to give you a false sense of security with this one? Are you ready? And the answer is, they're both the same again. I know. Ready? Next one. Which line at the bottom lines up with the banana? Have a look. Look at that line. Where does it come out at the bottom? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Have a look. Figured it out. Think you know which line it is? Hard to tell. It is. Let's move the wood out of the way. It is number 2. Hopefully you got that one. And the last one, are you ready for it? Are the cylinders the same size or are they different sizes? Bit of a tricky one. And they are, you should have guessed it by now, they are the same size. There we go. Well done, guys. Hopefully that teased your brain enough, or it's warmed your brain up enough to start to look at things and really try and understand what's going on. Because effectively that's what you have to do when you're trying to solve a problem. You have to really look at it and figure out what's going on here. Make sense? Great. Let's go on to the next thing. Welcome to your main lesson, problem solving. We all face problems at all points in our lives, and it's kind of how we face the problems that's the important thing. Whether we look at that problem and think, right, come on, let's fix this, or we look at that problem and go, oh, well, I don't really want to do it, it's going to be hard. And we're going to break down the basic steps that we should all try to employ when we're looking at solving a problem. And this is how it works. The acronym for solving a problem is IDEA. I-D-E-A. I stands for identify. You first got to identify what the problem is before you can fix it. There's no point jumping into a situation and just trying to fix something before we even understand what that problem is. So first you've got to identify it. You have to know what that problem is. And then number 2 is develop ideas. So once you have identified the problem, then obviously you go on to developing plans and ideas for how you're now going to try and resolve what that problem is. E, execute. Once we have developed ideas and we've thought about it and we've decided, yep, that looks like the best idea, that's the one I'm going to go with, then we execute that plan and we hopefully see if it has unfolded exactly as we imagined, which is then exactly what leads us on to A, assess. We assess whether our plan actually worked or not. You know, did all the steps fit exactly as we imagined? Has the problem gone away? Have we resolved it? And if you get to that end point, if you get to assess and you look back and think, oh no, the problem is still there, it's not gone away, or it's got worse, or maybe it's got a little bit better but it hasn't gone away, then you just go back to I and identify again. You look back at that problem and think, is it the same problem and has it changed? And then once you get your answer again at I, you go through D, E, and A all over again. And hopefully that leads you to solving the problem. Let's get rid of these and let's see if you can remember what those are. I. What was I? Identify. Identify the problem. Great, let's go on to D. What was D? Can you remember what D was? I know I went through it really quickly. You should be able to remember what D is. D is develop. Develop ideas to try and solve the problem. E. What was E? Can you remember? E. Execute. E was execute, which means carry out your plan, try your plan to see if it actually works. And then A. What was A? You remember what A was? A was assess. It's where you look back to see if all your previous steps worked, and if they didn't, go back to the beginning and have another go. I am now going to show you an example of a problem that I had to try and fix, and the sort of steps that I went through as well, and the same sort of issues that sometimes we all face. And just so you know, this is not a gardening activity. I'm not showing you how to garden. Gardening is just the medium that I chose to try and demonstrate my point. I was going to choose the medium of dance. Problem solving. So yeah, you're really lucky I didn't choose that. You don't want to see that. No. See you back here in a few minutes. So here's one of my problems. This right here. I wanted to grow some vegetables for the summer, and I wanted to do it here in the garden, but as you can see, everything is overgrown and it's full of weeds. I genuinely can't be bothered cleaning that out. This isn't my house, this isn't my garden, I'm just renting a room here. So I'm finding lots of excuses not to do this. I want to grow vegetables. Here's my problem. Look at all that. I don't know what these plants are, I don't know what those plants are, I don't know what the weeds are, I don't know what's not a weed, and it's a lot of effort to clear this out. I genuinely don't want to put in this effort, and I could have picked another subject and made a completely different video so that I wouldn't have had to show anybody this and nobody would know any different. But I suppose this is the main point of when it comes to solving problems, is your willingness to want to solve the problem. So right now, this is my problem, and my willingness to do it is what's getting in the way of solving the problem. And I think that's one of the main things that we all come across when it comes to solving problems, is our willingness to want to do it. We provide ourselves with so many reasons not to do it. Like, oh, it's going to take up too much time, it's going to cost money, or it's going to be a lot of effort. And then we convince ourselves not to do it because of that. So these are the things that we have to be able to notice and identify that we are doing when we're faced with a problem. I'm doing it right now, but for the sake of this, I want to grow vegetables, so I have to fix this. I have to stop those excuses for happening and just face and accept that, yeah, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah, I don't like doing it. Yeah, I can't be bothered doing it. But to get the results at the end, I have to do it. And that's the point. I thought this was just a big pile of vines, but it's actually an apple tree that's covered in vines. That's a pretty cool find. All right, so I've got to get all of these vines off this. Pretty much everything has been covered in vines. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Whew, but we're getting there slowly. I've done the first bit that I thought would be quite easy. That's actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. And I've changed my plan like 2 or 3 times in the middle already. So at the beginning, I thought it would be easy. You know, my original plan was get stuck in, rip everything out. You know, they're just plants, how hard can it be? But it was hurting my hands, so then I had to change my plan and go and get some gloves to help protect my hands. And then as I carried on, I found out that some of the parts to rip out are actually really thick, and I wasn't strong enough to rip them out. So I had to change my plan and go and get tools, like these tools and these tools, to make it easier for me. And now I've pretty much got rid of all the big weeds. I've got the extra parts of the plan, like this massive pile here and this pile and that pile. I've got to now get rid of those. My bin's not big enough to get rid of them. The other thing is that I've got rid of all the big weeds, but now all these things are full of the smaller weeds that I now have to go through and hand pick these out. So everything is added on top of the other. It's got a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. All these vines that are growing up this tree, I've got to find a way of getting all these off. Everything's become bigger than it originally was. And that's one of the other things that I think we'll face when we face problems, is that it'll turn out to be more difficult than we first thought it would be. And that's really easy in the middle, to get part way through and think, oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. I can't be bothered anymore, I'm just going to give up. But if I look at it, it already looks, even though it's been more difficult than I first thought it would, it already looks a lot better than it first did. So like, why would I give up now? And that's the same thing when you face problems. You might get halfway through it and it'd be more difficult than you first thought it was, and you'd be faced with the choice of just giving up because it's really hard. But if you look at it and think, well, it's actually a little bit better than it was in the beginning, then that's a good sign. Don't give up. You've already made it a little bit better. Keep going. And even if it's the other way, where you've had a look at it and it's no better than it first was, then all you've got to do is go back to the beginning and look at it again and think, all right, what is the problem here? Maybe I wasn't focusing on what the actual problem is. Maybe it's something else and I've missed it. And then maybe if you go back, you'll see what it really is, and then go again. The point is, you don't give up. Like right now, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pull out the little weeds, make it look really, really nice, so that when summer comes around next week, you know, 1 day's effort, or maybe 2 or 3 days effort, depends on how long this takes, will give me weeks and months of fruit and vegetables. And I'll save hundreds of dollars. That's worth putting in that effort to get the reward. Done. Here is the before shot. Now let's take a look at the after shot. Ooh, look at that. That looks so much better. Beautiful. Before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. Absolutely worth all the effort that was put into that. Okay, now let's wrap up. Obviously, gardening might not be a problem that you're going to face, but the process of solving a problem is the same no matter what problem you face. So like for me, I had to identify the problem, develop plans, execute those plans, and assess those plans. And my plan was pretty straightforward. My first plan was just get stuck in and rip the plants out. It didn't really need to be a big plan. And then as I executed that plan, I found out that I needed to change it and get some tools and do other things. Like that happens all the time. Our first plan isn't always the most successful one. We have to reassess and try again. again. Your problems may be very different. For example, you might want to buy an Xbox or a new pair of shoes, and that's $500. But how are you going to do that? This is where you then develop your own plan. You might think, oh, I want to get a computer that's $500. I could do so many jobs and earn $10 a week. If I save $10 a week, that's about 50 weeks. That's almost an entire year, and you could carry that plan out and then get yourself whatever it is that you want to get. But then here's the other problem that we all tend to face, and it's that willingness to want to do it, that defeat. Because then we could be likely to think, oh, 50 weeks, that's almost an entire year of saving. That's a long time. I don't want to do that. I want it now. And maybe you'll get halfway through that. Maybe you'll get 6 months through it and you've got $250 saved. Like, that's quite a bit of money. And now there's something else that's come out, or there's something else that somebody else has that now you want to spend. You're faced with that decision of, ooh, should I spend this money that I've saved on this new thing I want? Or should I stick with my original plan? We all go through this. And the other thing, you might have the perception that, oh, like, why do I have to save it? I want it now. Johnny that I go to school with, his parents just bought him a console. Why do I have to buy my own? Why doesn't my parents just buy these things for me? Like, these are the thought process of defeat that we create ourselves to talk us out of wanting to do something because it's challenging or because it's hard. But these are the things that we have to push ourselves to, because the learning that we experience and the way our brains develop when we go through these are the things that are worth it. And these are the things that'll make a huge difference to you when you're older, because your brains will have developed and become so strong because of the challenges and the problems that you forced yourself to solve. Bottom line is, don't let your willingness stop you. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of wanting something because you don't know how to get it. And don't let yourself talk yourself out of solving a problem because you haven't figured out how to solve that problem yet. We learn these things along the way. We all do. You've just got to try it first and not give up. You can do it. I promise you, you can do it. You've just got to commit and give it a go. Okay guys, thank you very much for listening to me. That's all for you and that's all from me. Hope you're having a great week. Look forward to seeing you next time. Check out our other videos if you want to look at some more awesome lessons. Stay amazing. See you soon. Bye.
Kia ora guys, welcome back to the GKQ table. Just like last week, what's going to happen? I'll ask a question, then I'll give you guys 5 seconds to answer that question. Alright, let's just dive straight in. Alright. Your first question is, what country would you find the Eiffel Tower in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would find it in France, in Paris, France. Beautiful team. All right. Your next question is, where would you find the Great Pyramids? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would find them in Egypt. A fun fact about the pyramids, Cleopatra is closer to our time than she was the building of the pyramids. So that's how old the pyramids are. Alright, next question is going to be, where would you find Buckingham Palace? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bit premature with the fifth finger there, team. You would find it in England. Mighty England. Alright team, I hope you've enjoyed those GKQs and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. As always, we have to finish on our catchphrase. Alright team, stand on up, warm your hands up, and Kiwi Can says, if I got a problem, y'all, I'll solve it. I'll think of an idea, then I'll resolve it. Awesome work team. I hope you all have fun out there.